Oh hey, how I got a job, how I got a rent-free apartment, why I'm here in the first place, when I'm coming home. If I'm coming home, then watch this video. Welcome. Hi everyone, it's me, Heather.
This is so annoying.
Today I'm talking about why I chose probably the most random place ever to come alone, South Korea. If you're interested at all in how I came to Korea and why I came here, why I decided to move here alone, how I'm living in an apartment rent-free, then keep watching this video because that's what I'm going to be talking about. Today's an interesting video because I've opened up about this on my blog once, but today I wanted to turn it into a video. So let's get started. So I'm actually from Canada. I'm from a really small province that you probably have never heard of. It's called Nova Scotia, and it is on the very east coast of Canada. People automatically assume that Canada ends at Toronto, but if you keep going farther east, there is a small province there called Nova Scotia. It's about a 2-hour flight from Toronto, and that's where I live, in a city called Halifax. It's right on the water. It's beautiful. I know that everyone that I've ever met would absolutely love it if they came to visit, but just no one gives it a chance because it's so small. But anyway, it's not about Nova Scotia today. We're talking about Korea. Why I chose to come to Korea. My entire life, I have always just been with people. I'm a twin, so literally since the womb, I have been with somebody my entire life. I love my twin. I love my family. I absolutely love my friend. There was a part of me that was just, I was missing something and I wasn't quite sure what it was. I just felt like I was constantly doing what everyone else wanted to do. I just felt like I wasn't growing as an individual, as a person. And when I started getting really into personal development, all these books, podcasts, they were telling me the exact same thing, and it was, you have to spend time alone. And that is just something that I have never done before. Literally am that person that can't say no to people, to my friends, because we just have so much fun together. I don't want to say no in the first place, so why would I? I had to remove myself from my bubble in order for me to grow as a person. Moving to Korea was the scariest thing that I've ever done in my entire life. I was dating someone for over 2 years. So I left that relationship behind. I left my family, and I'm a lot more of a homebody than I like to admit. When I left for university, bawled. I cried so much. Like, I did not want to leave my parents. Like, there's just something inside of me that was telling me, like, I have to go and do this. I have always wanted to travel. Traveling the world has been at the top of my list. I actually wanted to go and do a semester abroad at university and ended up just never doing it because it honestly just like completely left my train of thought. I forgot that I wanted to do it. I was just so caught up in like my own little world and like the partying and all my friends that I just didn't want to anymore, and just completely stopped putting an effort to try. And it was after university where, you know, I got my 9-to-5 job. I was in my cubicle and I, you know, thought that this was what I was supposed to be doing, and I just wanted to die. And I loved the people, and honestly the job wasn't that bad either. I was a recruiter for Randstad. It's like the biggest IT recruiting firm. Oh, I forget the spiel. Anyway, I working for them for over a year and honestly had it pretty good and worked right downtown in my city. I could walk to and from work. Loved the people that I worked with, loved my boss. Like, everyone was great. Every time I would go into work, it was just, I knew it wasn't what I was supposed to be doing and wasn't where I was supposed to be. I'm really thankful for the job that I had. I was working with a lot of older men, like in their 50s and even 60s, and I was trying to get them jobs at big companies, which I'm not allowed to name because against the rules. But anyway, I was, you know, it was a job where I had to learn a lot about myself and I had to gain confidence. So if it wasn't for this job, I probably would have never been able to work up the courage to move to Korea. I chose Korea because I have always wanted to live abroad. The whole experience was just so intriguing to me. First, I wasn't even thinking of Korea. I was honestly thinking about Europe. Like, of course I want to go live in France and like eat croissants by the Eiffel Tower, all this shit. I really wanted to do Spain too, but once I started looking more into it, I was like, you make no money over in Western Europe, or honestly Europe in general, and you have to pay for your flights, you have to pay for your apartment, and I was just like, have too much student debt to like, it was not realistic. Maybe once I'm done paying off student debt, I can go to Europe, figure things out, but For me right now, in the position that I was in post-grad, a year and a half of work under my belt, no money, so much debt, Europe is just not in the books for me. Beautiful spot, I really want to go, but Asia is a lot cheaper to live and it was a lot easier for me to get a job there. So I started looking into teaching English. Probably even know somebody who teaches English in Asia or somewhere around the world. 3 main countries that constantly are looking for people to come teach English is Japan, China, and Korea. South Korea. So after doing more research, I realized that South Korea was financially the best spot for me to go. They paid for my flights here. They do pay for my flights returning home. I got a settlement of money once I did land here in Korea, and they also pay for my apartment. So I am living rent free. I do still pay utilities and all that stuff. I think I pay $40 Canadian a month. So US, that's probably like 25 with how bad the dollar is. Those are my expenses. I also pay for a phone bill, which is $40 a month, unlimited data. That is how I got a rent-free apartment. I will say, for those of you who are interested in teaching English, you have to have some slight interest in kids.
No fucking way. Really? Alright.
So many people have like came to teach English that they just have an interest in traveling. I will tell you right now, the like Monday through Friday, 8:40 to 4:40 p.m. you are in your school and you are lesson planning, and like it's actually a lot more work than people think that it's gonna be. So the interest in children, the interest in teaching has to be there. I'm putting that out. You do have a co-teacher that helps you, but like, you need to have that initial interest. So I moved to Korea to teach English. I was always interested in maybe doing a degree in education. So I thought teaching English would be, you know, a good first step. And I got to live abroad and be in a completely foreign country to really get me out of my comfort zone. So everything just really worked. I landed in Korea September 28th, 2019. My contract started October 1st, 2019, and it's exactly 12 months. They don't come any shorter, so it was either a year or I couldn't go. So I'm really glad I did do a year because I've already been here for about 7 months now, and I'm not ready to go home yet, but after a year, I feel like I'm gonna be ready to like go home, see my friends and family, because I do really miss them a disgusting amount. Like I can't wait to be around them all again and just have things close by. But so the main reasons I did move to Korea, I just didn't feel like I was developing as a person. I was that girl that could not say no. I was going out every weekend and I just knew that deep down, like as much fun as I was having, like it wasn't getting me anywhere and it wasn't like propelling me forward. And do not get me wrong, because I still drink, not nearly as much, just because 1, of quarantine, but like 2, this like might come across like really bad, but like I didn't come here to make friends and like go out and party. I was doing too much of that at home. I came here to get away from that and to be completely isolated and alone, to like figure out what I wanted to do with my life. I wanted to figure out what my interests were. I wanted to figure out who I was as a person. And as cheesy as it is, I came here to find myself.
Boring.
And I don't even like saying that, but you know what? I'm over it. It's so true. That's exactly why I came here. I just needed to get away from my everyday routine, and I wanted to get out of my comfort zone because I wasn't growing, and the only way to grow as a person is to get out of your comfort zone. When I would start working on my blog, I would write all this stuff about getting out of your comfort zone and how important it was. But I felt like I was talking a lot of talk, but I was not walking the walk. Do you know what I mean? I was telling everyone to get out of their comfort zone, but like I actually wasn't doing anything. So I also felt, for me to talk about inspiring others and all this stuff, I had to actually go out and do something about it. So that was another big thing. I was like so sick of just talking about things instead of actually like putting in action and doing them. throw me in the middle of a country that doesn't speak any English and doesn't even use an alphabet. They use symbols. Sure, I picked like the far end of the spectrum to go, but you know what? It's done exactly what I've wanted it to so far. People probably thought that I was a lot more outgoing than I actually was, but inside I wasn't a very confident person, was a people pleaser, anything and everything to make everybody else happy, and I forgot about the most important person, myself. And I was so tired of doing what everyone else wanted to do, and for once I finally decided, you know what, I'm gonna put myself first. And you know, it could have jeopardized like a lot of my relationships, but I just kept telling myself that whatever's meant to happen is gonna happen. If these friends are as good as I think that they are, they're gonna stick with me and they're gonna be supportive, which they absolutely have been. My friends have been just so supportive of me and like everything that I've been doing. And since I have moved to Korea, I have really just found what makes me happy and stuck with it. I just kept doing more of what made me feel good and sharing that online. And I've met so many like online friends that I'm like have never met in person by like opening up and sharing my story on Instagram. So back in 2019, I also started a blog. It was about everything that I had learned, all this growth and all the books that I've read, all the podcasts that I listened to. I wanted to share it on a blog, and that period between graduating university and finding a job is literally the worst feeling like I had ever had in my entire life. And I just remember thinking, this cannot be normal. Is this supposed to be like what life is like? Like there's no way that life is like this. I refuse to accept it. And the moment that I finally just put myself first and decided to get out of my comfort zone and finally do a bit of traveling abroad and see the world and just get out of my comfort zone and spend this year alone by myself, I know it's been by far like the best decision I've ever made for myself. I really wanted to take this year, focus on my blog and put stuff that made me happy first, and that was writing on my blog, sharing things that I've been learning, exploring like wellness and mental health, and figuring out who I am, what I like, what I want to do, because at the end of the day, nobody's gonna like pick up your shit and do it for you. You have got to just make that first move. And as scary, anxiety ridden as it is to do things alone, I truly believe that it's the absolutely only way that you're gonna grow as a person. Like truly. At the end of the day, no matter like how strong your relationship is with your family, your friends, your boyfriend, go to sleep in your own thoughts every single night. There's no one in your head with you that's like helping you out along the way and like has everything planned out. I've learned so much about myself since I've gotten here. I don't know, that can be another video too that I can make about like the lessons that I've learned since I've been here alone. But I just really wanted to give you guys an overview on why I'm in Korea in the first place. A lot of people have sent me messages and been like, why Korea? Why did you choose Korea? And honestly, weird to say, but like it chose me. Like I was literally expecting to be like laying on a beach in Spain, but I absolutely love it here. Definitely pushed me out of my comfort zone, that's for sure. It's like the best place that I could have ever chosen, because it's pushed me far enough out of my comfort zone that I still am like, where the f am I? What am I doing? But it also is a really advanced country where I don't feel like I'm not in like a third world country where I'm surrounded by families who hardly have running water. When I was doing some traveling in Vietnam, I had actually looked into teaching in Vietnam. I actually had an interview for a school. I got the job, but they wanted me to start in July and I just like wasn't ready. I was too scared to go, so I turned it down. But after visiting there, it was like heartbreaking, the state of the country that it's in. So I'm really happy that I chose Korea because they are really advanced. The medical system here, bomb. The food, oh my god. I'll have to make another video on like my favorite things about living here in Korea. I just wanted to take the time and explain to you guys why I did choose to move across the world alone. By far, it's been the best experience of my life. If any of you are in that point in your life where you know that you're meant to do just a little bit more, but you're not sure where to start, you're unclear, get somewhere and like force yourself out of your comfort zone and go somewhere alone. Look for jobs somewhere else. And if you're ever interested in teaching English, you can always reach out to me and I can send you all the information of the recruiter that I went through. He's amazing. Korea is hiring like 4 or 5 times a year. Like they're always looking for people. If you're looking to get out of your comfort zone and you just feel like you're not where you want to be with your life. I was like wasting my time. I don't like saying that because I was surrounded by my friends and family the entire time. Like I obviously wasn't wasting my time, but I just felt like my life was like passing by and I was just living in autopilot. I was completely living in autopilot. I just was going with the flow every day, waking up 40 minutes before I had to go to work, getting dressed, eating breakfast, going to work, spending all day wishing that I was somewhere else instead of actually just going through with it and finally just pulling the trigger and making the first move. And my first move was like Googling how to like live abroad, because I think that there will be no other experience than like living abroad. And I think if you ask anyone, and I know there's all these memes of people who come back and are just like completely different people, but like there's a reason that people change when they go somewhere alone and live in a foreign country. It completely just forces you to just buckle up and do things for yourself. Looking back at like the girl that I was when I first came here, oh my god, like I'm a completely different person for the best. I don't want to change anything about like my past and like what I've been through, because it completely shaped all the choices and where I am right now and who I am today. So I'm so grateful for it. Yeah, I think that's it. I just want to say, if you're still watching all to the very end, thank you so much. You have no idea how much I appreciate you and all your support. If you want to give me that thumbs up and hit subscribe, that would literally help me out so much, like you actually don't even know. Thank you so much for watching this video, and if you want to see more content similar to this, then please leave a comment below. Tell me what you like watching, what you don't like watching. I am looking for all the feedback in the world, so lay it on me. Have a beautiful day and I will see you in the next video.